Welcome to the Goodwin live show. It's Monday evening, 7 o'clock. I hope everybody is well. We've got quite a few guests on tonight, some excellent guests, and I'll start off as I do with people on last, and then we'll go back towards the front of the show. So the last person on is a very exciting guest, Chris Mason, former quarter-finalist in the PDC World Darts Championships and an avid boxing fan. I'm always very interested to read what Chris has to say. He's got some very good opinions. He's forthright, and I'm going to be questioning him on boxing, so I'm sure we'll get some forthright comments from Chris. 10 minutes before Chris, we've got from Bideford, one of the brightest prospects in Devon, Billy Stanbury, exciting middleweight, and he's somebody that I think is going to go a massive way in the sport. 7:10, we've got Sam Cox, an undefeated flyweight from London. He's 5-0. He's already fought at the O2. He missed an O2 show. He was on the undercard of Avanesian and Kelly. We'll see what Sam's been up to. But first on, we have one of the country's leading trainers. May not be one of the biggest names, but he's one of the, in my opinion, one of the best trainers in the country. And he's from Norwich. He's the trainer of the Walsh brothers. He's had many charges that have been top-notch over the years. His name's Graham Everett, and I'm going to try and get hold of Graham now, see if he's online, and then we can speak to Graham, because he's a man with a lot of boxing experience. Let's see if I can find Graham on here. See if I can find him. Doesn't appear to be here yet. Graham isn't here as of yet. Oh, here he is. Got him. Man, pleasure always to deal with one of the good guys in boxing, and deserves all the credit that he gets. So hope to speak to Graham in Norwich. Graham, how are you?
Yeah, all good, Steve. Thank you very much.
Good. What are you up to up there? Doing nothing or planning anything?
Just like you, dreaming of our next shows. It's just fortunate we got the Ian Martell Southern Area title fight just in time.
Well, I wish they had been postponed, Graham.
Yeah, I bet you do. Getting back to that one, it was an interesting interview with Mark Little last week. Agree with him. That would be a great fight. That was, we've done a lot of business together. Maybe we can sort that one out, because I think you're right. That's a good fight. A great crowd pleaser. Ian will meet him in the middle, and we always do business together, and I think that will be a really good fight in the new season for us to look forward to.
No, I was very impressed with Ian in that fight with Jose Lopez. I thought he performed very well, and he hasn't had any amateur experience, has he, Ian? And I thought he was, Jose was a top class amateur, so. And I thought, Ian was a deserved winner of that fight, and he deserved to win. I thought he was very, he performed very well.
You have to take chances, and in the current climate, I think everybody's going to have to take chances now. That's as simple as that. Definitely. We took a chance, like you say, he was a good amateur. We took a chance against a good experienced boy. It was a good fight, and obviously we're really pleased with the outcome and look to push on from there.
Yeah. So just going back to people that don't, because you're one of the, what I consider to be the best unsung trainers out there. People don't really know you, do they? But yet you've been in the business for many years and produced many champions. How many years have you been training now?
I've had a pro license since 1993.
It's a long time, isn't it?
A long time. Yeah.
Still enjoying it?
Time. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, listen, I've got an absolute great bunch down at the Pro Boxing Centre Lads Club Norwich. I'd say a great set of lads, but we've got one girl there, Stevie Levy, as well. But a good group of young up-and-coming fighters, Steeds, Goddards, Blundens, Eli Frankham. There's a great group down there. Bernardo, and this break in boxing has come as a bad time for us. Obviously, we've got Ryan Walsh in the final of the Golden Contract. Liam's back. Things are really rolling for us. So we'll just have to say this is going to be a setback, and hope that we can get things rolling and moving back where we should be.
Yes, I hope everybody. It's a big question, isn't it? When boxing resumes,
if and when.
I mean, nobody knows that we're all sitting there waiting for it's all up to the government, isn't it, to decide what's safe and when we can get back to normal. But
I think the biggest problem is the crowds, isn't it? That's the thing. There's a lot of talk of behind closed boxing, which is possible on TV, but as you know, it's all about bums on seats in our game, isn't it?
Well, you wouldn't be able. You and Mervyn promote up in Norwich, but you're never going to be able to promote with no crowds, are you? It's not going to be.
Of course not. No, we'd have to have some fairy godfather sponsor come in, wouldn't we? You know.
Yeah.
But no, it's Mervyn has done a great job up there. We had three dates lined up. Obviously, June, September, November. June's not going to happen, and you'll have to tick them off as they go back, won't you? You know, it's all down to the what the government decide, as you say.
Yeah. So going back to your early career as a trainer, where were your biggest successes when you started out?
Well, obviously, being part of Herbie Hyde's team was major. But the turning point for me personally as a trainer, I think, was when I took over John Saxton, training him, and he won the British title, and then he won the European title. That gave me personally, as a trainer, a lot of accomplishment, a lot of enjoyment, and without trying to sound big-headed, the champions have rolled since, and without say huge pedigreed amateurs, So, I mean, John is part of the training team here now, anyway. We've got a good team, Darren Bunn, Matt Smith, there's a number of us up here, and we all work hard. We have to work hard. Like you say, we're out of the way up here. Obviously, we've had Sam Saxton as well, and so on and so forth. Obviously, all the Walsh brothers, but we do have to work hard. But I think that's what gives you a little bit more of a buzz when you've got an accomplishment.
I mean, because the way you've got to look at it is Norwich has bred all these champions, all these wonderful fighters. It's not the biggest place in the country, and I struggle to find another area of that size that has produced what you've been able to produce there. A lot of the credit must come down to what you're able to do with it, and I think it's absolutely amazing.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, going back, was Herbie Hyde as difficult to deal with as it looked from the outside?
Herbie was something else. He, early days, he was. Freddie King had him a lot of, obviously, his early part of his career, and Freddie used to talk to me in depth. I only just become a pro trainer then. I become part of his team, and I think in 1995 or 6, I think it was, with Frankie Swindle. But yeah, what a character! What you see is what you get. He's volatile. He's volatile in the ring, and he was volatile out. But he ain't a bad person. To be honest, he's not a bad person. He's also got a son who boxes for Norwich Lads Club as well.
Has he?
I think I've told him. Good kid, very good kid. Won a gold medal in the East Midland Box Cup last year. He's good, a very good prospect.
I mean, I've got to say, when I was a boxing fan in my early days, Herbie Hyde was one of those fighters that I used to go to specifically watch. He was probably, it was only him and Nigel Benn that I actually would go to a show specifically to see in the early days. It was, because I used to love watching Herbie fight. I mean, he was fast, wasn't he? Quick, just a little bit.
Power as well. The power as well. You see.
Yeah.
So fast, his time and everything. I trained a lot with him early times, and to be honest with you, what a lesson to be. What a quality of boxer to be working with. It sets your standards very high.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to go back from when you've worked with someone like him, because you always relate to. How did Herbie do that? How did John Saxton do that? How did the Walshers do it? You go back to your champions. You expect that from all the, the Steeds and all them boys, and even Stevie Levy. You expect them to be good and that good.
I mean, John Saxton was another massive success story, wasn't he? And without being, I don't say not disrespectful, I thought he was fantastic. A lot of people could say he overachieved, but he was an exceptional talent, John, wasn't he? And he was, I think, he was vastly underrated in his time.
I think the biggest thing about John, he could finish a fight with either hand. He was a lot better boxer than what people give him credit for. But the biggest thing about him, and what he is an ambassador to any boxer coming up, it was his work rate and his work ethics. Every boxing came first for him. That was the most important thing to him, was boxing. At the time of being a competitive boxer, to be the very best, you have to be selfish. You have to, everything must be about you. That's how it is. You know, at that level, you have to be, you know, a very selfish person. Obviously, you're with your team is part of you, but you have to, in general life, you know, lock yourself away from people and all that sort of thing. And John was very good at that. John was very, very disciplined. And working with him now, he tries to bring that into all the lads we work with, and obviously Stevie, I mustn't forget her. But it's you know, it's just you have to give John credit for being that. He was so dedicated.
No, it's good. And looking at the bunch of boxers now, who is your brightest prospect who is yet to win a title?
The next, I've got two boxers coming out, obviously behind Ian. I mean, you normally see who I've got when they come through, don't you? You know, we start obviously Poxton with George Juck, with Connor Vine, who I manage, who trains with Russ Smith. You know, we mustn't forget he's got a Southern Area title fight pending with your guy as well. Yeah. You know, but I would say obviously the next two in line would be Joe Steed and Liam Goddard. They are furthest down. They're furthest up the ladder. They're the next two coming through. You know, there's slightly more experience than the others, but three or four more fights. They're in championship class. Yeah. So yeah, they're young as well. They're a young group. With them like Owen Blunden and Bernardo. Bernardo's good. He's only had 2 fights, but he's a good kid. I like it. I like him a lot. And there's two or three more lads signing up. So you know, let's get this boxing season going again.
Well, I wish you every success going forward, apart from when you're fighting my guys.
Yeah, I know. We have a little smile at each other, but no, we've had some good. To be fair, we've had some great fights between us.
Haven't we?
I think you're 2-1 up at the minute, so
that's right.
It's got to be ready. Got to be sorted. All right.
Graham, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. And
thanks a lot, Steve.
It's good for everybody out there to hear from a man who's at the top of his profession and just not as well known as some others. But you know, you do an amazing job, Graham.
I'll be honest, I like it that way.
Thanks a lot, Graham. You take care.
Thanks a lot.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Thanks. And that's Graham Everett, one of the finest trainers in the country, who people do not know. I mean, he just does an amazing job. Now we're moving on to one of our brightest prospects, a young man by the name of Sam Cox, undefeated in 5 fights. He's got unbelievable potential, and we're looking forward to seeing Sam coming. He's here now, so I'm looking forward to speaking to Sam. Here we come. Sam, how are you?
How you doing, Steve? You good?
Have you been in hospital?
Yeah, I was the weekend, yeah.
What's the matter?
Nothing too serious, just I'll privately message you, but it was something pretty minor, but we got it sorted pretty quick. So a little op as such, not invasive. So yeah.
But you're okay, so that's
no, back to work today, so
that's good. So I mean, obviously we're 5-0. We've already fought once at the O2, and we were due to go again, weren't we? End of March. That was good, wasn't it?
I know, and I was so excited to get going because I shook off the nerves and the sort of new feeling at being at the first time at the O2. I've been there and done it, and it was now like sort of time to show my boxing to the best ability because I didn't have that new venue, it was like the debut. It was like having another debut when I boxed there the first time. So I was sort of happy to go back there knowing that I've done it already and I can just show what I'm about. So I think you would have got a better Sam Cox on the night really than the first time round. So,
but I say to all the boxers, and they don't realise it, if you're going to go and fight on a big show, you really need to have gone there before.
Yeah, 100%. It's the same as like title fights and stuff. It does give an edge if you've been there and done that. Obviously, if you're a lot higher caliber than the other fighter, then you're always going to come out on top if you do the right things right. But if you've been there and done it, and like for example, a 12-round fighter of opposed to someone who's only done 4 or 6, it makes a big difference just being at the venue or done them rounds or X, Y, Z. Because in the gym, nothing can replicate what it's like on the night. So like even just getting picked up in the limo and going underneath the O2, it's all just like, oh my god, it's like mind blowing.
Yeah. But it was a good experience, and hopefully it'll come round again once this all gets settled and we can get back to some sort of normality again. So, you keeping in contact with Sam Bazina while you're off?
Yeah, cool, Sam. I'm still annoying him every day. He's going to me, stop training, calm down, slow down. So I've pretty much been in camp this whole quarantine, training sort of twice a day and having one day off as if I was boxing. But this week started yesterday. Just complete and utter rest for at least a week. I need it for myself, and I think social media as well is going to, after this interview tonight, I'm going to have a break for a week at least from everything, because it's been pretty hectic, and I've realised that there's no end goal at the moment, so I need a break just to switch off, because it's like I'm still fighting on the 28th, which has been gone.
Because that's the thing, when this is all, I speak to a lot of people who have got their boxers in full camp. Yeah. And my issue with that is that I think, and I'm not a trainer, but this could be a longer layoff for some than people think. And if boxers just keep going and going, they're going to suffer burnout.
Yeah. Just burn out.
And it's going to be difficult to manage.
And because obviously I'm not getting the actual, I've got some boxing bags that we use at work, so I can punch some bags. But because you're not actually doing the sparring and the pad work, which mainly takes it out of you, I myself personally was making it harder on the roads, harder on the bikes, harder with my strength and conditioning. So in essence, I was probably training harder than I would do in camp, because if you've done, say, a 10-round spar, the next day you're not able to get up and do a 6, 7, 8 mile run because your body can't cope with it. Whereas where I was only doing them sort of things, one day I'd be doing a 7, 8 mile run. The next day I'm doing an hour on a spin bike. Do you know what I mean? So I was really, really, really putting my body through it. So I'm going to have a week off just to calm down.
So I class you as one of the brightest talents that we have. And
thank you.
So where does Sam Cox believe Sam Cox is going to go over the next 3 years?
100%. I'll win a British title. 100%, especially at Super-Flyweight. That has always been sort of my world title. But if I get there, which I think I will, fingers crossed, if everything goes right and I carry on the path that I'm taking, then who says we can't fight for a world title, Steve? Do you know what I mean? At my weight, there's title shots to have, but obviously I just want to go the right way about it. Like I said, I'm only 5 fights in now. I'm not at that stage sort of calling out fighters and things like that. Look, when the title shot comes, I'll be ready to fight anyone. So I'll get once we get back to boxing, get a nice warm-up fight, and then I'm ready for titles. I'm ready for a 10-round fight. I'm a 10-round fighter in the gym. I don't even get warmed up in sparring until 6 rounds.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, I only think you need one more, and then it's time to go in and.
Yeah, I just need one to get the rust off where we've been so inactive with this period. And if, say, for example, it was a matchroom show and we could only get a 4-rounder again, I'd probably like a 6-rounder or maybe an 8 just to get me prepared. But if it was on one of our shows, we could do a 6 or an 8 like that, and then I'm ready. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think there's many fighters in the country at the minute that would live with me over 10 rounds.
No, I agree. I mean, your work ethic is probably as good as I've ever seen from any fighter. I mean, it's unbelievable what you do, and you deserve every success that you're going to get from this sport. And I'm so happy to be working with you going forward for the next few years. And I would be very, very disappointed if we haven't cracked the British title within the next 2 to 3 years, and who knows where we go from there. So
I love that Commonwealth belt as well. It's a beautiful belt.
Don't get greedy.
It's a beautiful belt. But yeah, no, definitely, 100%. I just want to get back active and get out as quick as possible. Like I'm fit to box yesterday.
I bet you are.
I'm on fight. Other than I've had 2 days now eating what I want, and the first time since this year I had a Bulmers not Bulmers, a Koppenberg last night, a couple of Koppenbergs. other than that, I've been living the life for 4 months now, so I'm ready to fight now. Do you know what I mean? I could jump in the sauna and make weight tomorrow. I'm telling you.
Don't you? You can't jump in no saunas though. We're not allowed to jump in saunas.
Mate, other than today, I was on fight weight yesterday. So
Oh, that's brilliant. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the next few years with you, Sam. Go and
Thank
have
you.
your break now. This is it.
That's
So
it.
no more interviews.
That's it. Tell everyone then that Sam's in lockdown. That's it. Leave me alone.
Give me a shout tomorrow. Let me know more
I
about
will
your
do,
thing.
yeah.
So give me a shout
It
tomorrow.
weren't nothing serious, but we got it sorted.
That's brilliant.
But I don't want too many people laughing on me on here because it was pretty stupid. So.
All right, mate. Listen,
Let's just say don't chew plastic, kids, because that's the reference.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Sam. You take care.
Mate.
And I'll
Cheers.
catch you soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, matey. That's Sam Cox, who's very near title shots now and has been a man that's been on the big stage. We're now going to join Billy Stanbury, who's a chap that's only had the one fight. But my God, is he some talent. And he's from Bideford in Devon, and he's going to be Devon's next champion for sure. Let's just see if we can get hold of Billy. Oh, if we can find him. It takes a bit of time on here because you're going to run through the. He was due to fight on the 10th. Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing, Steve, right?
Yeah, not bad. Good. You should have been fighting a couple of weeks ago, shouldn't you?
I know, yeah, should have been, but.
Oh dear. So what have you been up to? You've been keeping yourself in some sort of.
I still been running and cycling, just keeping fit. Yeah, just just treating it as a sort of an extra long camp, really. But could be a really long one, I think. But
it could be. I mean, we've got, as I say, I mean, for people that don't know you, your debut lasted one round, and you put the guy down 3 times for Rabble, and what people don't realise, and if people are not tuned to that, it may be easy to say, oh, well, he knocked out this guy in a round. But this guy in his last 5 fights has only been stopped once by you. Everybody else has gone the distance. And he took a kid in Finland to a 1 point points loss in his last fight. So this kid was no mug, but you just totally destroyed him. It was probably one of the best debuts that I've seen, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good.
So you're good. So obviously, October's the next date we've got potentially scheduled, but again, we're dependent on what's going on. Hopefully by June time, we'll have an idea whether boxing is going to be back by then.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, the plan wasn't it, for you to switch between fighting down in Plymouth and fighting in London?
Yeah,
and making the move between the two.
Obviously, July the 11th in London, but that's probably looking unlikely as well.
That's dead. No, that's dead. That's dead. That's dead. Yeah, that's dead. I think the chance of boxing, I think, is potentially behind closed doors with the big promoters in July. That is possible. That's not even sure. And I think we'll have more idea in the next 4 weeks where we're sitting when the government impose their rules. But there appears to be a lot of rumours that there is from some angles that pubs and everything are going to be out of bounds till the end of the year. Yeah. If they're out, then we're out.
Matchroom, are they going to be doing behind closed doors? Are they for definite?
Yes, they will be. I mean, but again, it'll be. I would imagine the strategy for the bigger promoters, they're not going to have massive cards because it'll be too expensive. They'll probably, if they're going to have 2 hours on Sky, they'll have enough fights to fit 2 hours. They're not going to have off TV. So I think it's going to be a lot of a restrict. We're going to have to get used to a very strange setup. But for you, look, you're 24, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've got time on your side. So the way you've got to look at it is some boxers have injuries at the early stage of their career, and if it means you've had some time off, you're still going to get to the same place you was going to go. It's just a bit frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Like, if I was in my 30s, it'd be a bit more frustrating. But like I said, I'm still young enough to, I'm only 24, so.
Yeah. And what when you turned over, so where do you see yourself going as a pro fighter? I mean, what are your ambitions?
To be honest, it's hard. It's a hard one. Like, obviously, I think it, say British level, I'd love, British title, but obviously the middleweight is it's a packed division, and I think maybe I'm thinking about possibly I might be able to do 69 super welter maybe for title fights, possibly, because I made I can make 70, 73 kilos, Like the last fight, I think I'm just gonna, I'm gonna speak to my nutritionist. He's pretty confident and be strong at 69. So I think I'd like to go for super welter, definitely.
And who's your coach?
Richard Greg.
Yeah. He's an excellent coach, isn't he? Again,
Yeah.
He's a brilliant coach. Works really well. He's
Yeah,
a good motivator. I'm really impressed with Richard as a trainer.
Yeah, he's good. He's class. He's in the gym with me twice a day. You know, training hard.
Committed as well, isn't he? To you?
Yeah. Literally lives and breathes boxing.
Yeah. So Bideford in Devon. The gym that you go to, is that local to you? Is it actually in Bideford?
I don't actually live in Bideford. I'm about a 40-minute drive from the gym.
Oh, where do you live?
I live out it's like a little village. Well, near a little village called Kew Martin.
Okay.
I live out on a farm. Like I'm out in the countryside.
So how do you have such good support then when you live in the middle of nowhere?
Like I don't know really. Yeah, it's I'm proper isolated out here. Like
really?
Yeah, the nearest house is about 2 miles away.
Oh my God! But you had a big support for your debut, didn't you? In Plymouth?
Yeah. And I sold about 120 tickets for the last one. Yeah.
Did you as well?
Yeah,
That's good for your second fight. I see a lot of pro boxers that do what you sold on your first and do 120 in their second fight would be very envious. That's really good going. Really good going. So there's exciting times ahead for you, Bill. It's just got to get this out of the way and then start cracking. So that's good. Well, thanks a lot, Bill, for joining us. You're a future champion. People have been introduced to you today, so it'd be great to see you. And let's hope we're boxing in Plymouth in October.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully. Well, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Thanks a lot for joining us, my friend. Take care, Bill. Take care. And thanks. We've had a top trainer. We've had a guy, Sam Cox, on the verge of championship fights. Billy Stanbury, a man making his first moves into boxing. And now we're going to join an ex-professional darts player, a darts pundit, and a man that's a big fan of the sport. So we're going to try and track down Chris Mason. Here we are. We're going to touch darts and boxing with him. So it's wait for Chris to join us. Let's try and connect up. Been a very interesting show so far. Been very enjoyable. Talked to 3 different people. Just waiting for Chris to join. We're trying to connect. Waiting for Chris to come on board. Having trouble connecting. Just Chris, I know you're on the line, Chris. So just press.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chris. I can't see you, but your voice is better than nothing. Can you hear me, Chris?
How bizarre.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're chatting anyway. So. How are you?
Yeah.
You good? Can you hear me? We've lost Chris again. Let's try again Let's try Chris again. Apologies for this. I don't know. Bit of a technical issue there. Let's try Chris again. Is that him on again? So hopefully we're connecting. Don't forget we're back on here at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Chantel Cameron's on. Ellie Scott is on. So they're the 2 females that are on Wednesday. So we're looking forward to that very much. We're just waiting to get hold of Chris now. I don't know what's happening.
Well, I can see you.
Okay, as long as we can hear you, Chris, that's the main thing. Can you hear me?
Well, I'm used to working on the radio, so this works perfect.
Anyway, big boxing fan, Chris, who, and just for people that don't know, you were, I think was it semi-finalist in the BDO and quarter-finalist in the PDC?
Yeah, I back-to-back semi-finalists in the BDO Worlds and a World Match Play semi-final, a World Masters semi-final.
Yeah.
And a PDC World Champs quarter.
Are we there? We lost Chris? I don't know what's happening here. Okay, I think what we'll do with Chris, we'll try and get Chris back on Wednesday because there's obviously a problem with connecting. I think we'll have to try and see if we can get him back on Wednesday. There's obviously a problem his end with the connection. But, okay, listen, we do need to speak to Chris, so we'll try and get him on another time for you, hopefully on Wednesday. So we'll end it here. Thanks to everybody for appearing. Apologies that we've lost Chris, but we will do our best to get him back on Wednesday. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to join us at 7 on Wednesday. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.